actually, no, it's actually more like you're just being bought off. You'll see exactly what I mean here in a second. Let me start here. Something that I read today about me, that I'm an angry populist. Really? I love this one. I've been saying the same thing for the last 2 years. Most of the time, these ideas and the things that have been coming out of my mouth, extremely unpopular. You know, like, hey, there's going to be a really bad recession, maybe a depression coming our way, and they're going to nationalize the banks. Everybody, 2 years ago, ha ha ha, he's crazy. Now that it's happening, I guess I'm a populist? Really? That's why today I'm going to do the oh-so-populist thing and argue for the AIG executives to get their $165 million in bonuses. Why? Well, it's something that I like to call a valid contract. You know, needs to be honored because of that rule of law thing that we're just bogged down by all the time. And yes, even for an angry populist like me, our laws still matter. Sometimes. Especially those written by Chris Dodd. You know what I was thinking today when I heard that Chris Dodd, I was watching the Fox Business Channel, and they said Chris Dodd was the one who wrote this law. And I thought, isn't he the guy who also is the first out leading the charge against the bonuses? That's weird. It's almost like his poll numbers are slipping. If the government didn't want the executives to get bonuses, then they shouldn't have written the law and said that the bonuses were valid if signed before February 11th of this year. Or, you call me crazy, better yet, they shouldn't have given AIG all the bailouts in the first place. Because without the bailouts, the companies would have had to gone into Chapter 11 or been liquidated, which, in my opinion, is what should have happened in the first place. Do you hear anybody complaining about the bonuses and the private jets and the big exotic parties for all the executives of Lehman Brothers? No. Why? We let them fail. I think this is really just another distraction. This is just coming to the media now for some reason or another. What do people have to gain for the media to focus on AIG and their bonuses? The bonus structure was widely reported over a year ago. The government knew about it. Ben Bernanke at the Fed's been studying how to get out of it for a couple of months now. They're only outraged right now because they're playing the role of an angry populist. They're not ever going to mention it outright. But our government senses a growing disenfranchisement. Just like you, they have seen different things that all add up. They've seen things like our ratings on last Friday night. They see thousands of people at tea parties all across the country, even though the media only reports of those tea parties. There was only 3 or 4 people there, and they were kooks. And they also see the polls. They know that, according to the new Rasmussen poll, we have 42% of Americans who disapprove of Obama's policies. So let me bring you back to the one thing. You're being bought off. It's just like in that awful movie, Waterworld. Do you remember that with Kevin Costner? Ooh, he's trying to forget, but let me remind you. This scene, watch it. Everybody was really upset. Everybody's screaming. And what do? He offers them smeat and cigarettes. Now, I don't have any smeat, but I did get some cigarettes. Washington right now is yelling and screaming about all of the bonuses. Why? Why is that? Why are they screaming about this? What is the point? Why is Barack Obama on Jay Leno on Thursday night? Cigarettes. Who'd like some cigarettes? America? Here's your cigarettes. Take them and just be quiet for a while. All they're doing is trying to misdirect. All they're trying to do is steer the attention someplace else. And I want to show you a couple of things. Come on over with me for a second to let me show you exactly what, by the way, this is Brian Murphy. He's from our brain room. He's a research guy. I mean, he couldn't be anything else. I mean, look at him. He looks too smart. Also, we have Judge Napolitano over here. He's a senior judicial analyst. Okay. Let me show you why they're distracting you, why they're giving you cigarettes, okay? Everybody's screaming about AIG. Everybody is saying, oh my gosh, these 160, how much is it, 165 million in bonuses?
Yes, that's the latest bonus payout.
Okay. Brian's here to tell me what else they have spent. This is, by the way, Barney Frank. Barney, Meet America. America, Barney. Except I have to complete Barney because he's usually a little fatter. Okay, so here's Barney Frank. Okay, now how much, Brian, did he give? How much went to other people? Not the executives. Give me some of the other places here in America.
Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs. How much did they pay out? AIG. How much did AIG give to Goldman?
About $13 billion.
I'm sorry, how much?
$13 billion.
$13 billion. Because you're a research guy, bigger or smaller than $165 million?
That's bigger.
Bigger, that's what I thought. Okay, who else did they give money to?
Merrill Lynch.
Merrill Lynch. Okay.
About $7 billion.
$7 billion. Okay, who else?
Bank of America.
Bank of America.
About $5 billion.
$5 billion. Didn't we bail some of these out on our own? It's almost like America, you know what's weird? It's almost like this is a money laundering system, you know, where the money just goes in and then they don't have to explain all of these on their own. Who else did they give it to?
Some foreign countries or large banks in other countries.
Foreign country banks. Oh, that's good. Who else? Give me the countries.
United Kingdom.
United Kingdom, our good friends.
$13 billion.
$13 billion.
Germany, about 17.
Wait a minute, this is taxpayer money going to Germany. How much?
$17 billion.
$17 billion.
And
who else?
About $19 billion for France.
$19 billion. Oh, I love the people in France. Judge, do you love the people in France?
Like the food, Glenn.
Like the food. You don't like the people. That's unfortunate. Who else? Anybody else?
Well, Switzerland, about $5.
Swiss. I love their Swiss misses. How much?
$5 billion.
$5 billion. Anybody else?
Well, there are a few other small countries.
Why don't you give me the total? How much went to America? How much went to America?
About $44 billion.
$44 billion went to America. Okay, $44 billion. Brian, how much went to overseas?
$62 billion about.
$62 billion. Remember, everybody today is just screaming because $165 million have gone to these executives. You see, why are they doing it? They're doing it because they don't want you to pay attention to all of this. This is small potatoes, to quote Chuck Schumer. Nobody cares about that. It's all of this. They don't want you to see what's inside the fat man that just keeps shooting out free money. Judge,
Sir.
Can we break the contracts of the $165 million?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because the Constitution prohibits the government, the federal government or the states, from interfering with valid contracts. And these contracts were valid when they were signed.
Hate to break it. Why are we always bogged down by that pesky Constitution thing? If you broke the contract, what would that mean for everybody else's contract? Would contracts in America mean anything if you knew that the government could come in and just cancel them?
The right to engage in a binding contract is the building block, the basic building block of our commercial society. If you or I entered into a contract and we didn't know that the other would comply because the government could interfere with any contract it wanted, we are socialists, pure and simple.
And it's worthless. Contracts are worthless.
The contract
for everybody.
worthless.
Contracts are worthless.
That's why, in order to prevent socialism, the Constitution prohibits the government from interfering with the contract.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But let's argue some more about it. Instead, let me show you exactly, because Barney Frank was talking today about, oh, this is out of control. This is just out of control. We got to fix this even more. Let's look at the anatomy here, the history of AIG. Okay, Brian, you ready? I'm going to do this part. Let's start in 1993. Here's what happened. In 1993, President Clinton signed a law called the Revenue Reconciliation Act of 1993. Remember, $165 million in bonuses. That's crazy. Who makes that kind of money? What does this mean in 1993? What did that?
It meant if you were going to compensate an employee for over $1 million, if you didn't use a bonus, you wouldn't be able to deduct it from your taxes.
So in other words, the government was encouraging businesses to give people big bonuses.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Did you know that? That's weird. Okay. Then we go to 1995. They issued new regulations related to CRA. And help me out on this one, Brian. The new 1995 regulations, listen to this one, de-emphasize subjective assessment measures in favor of strictly numerical ones.
That basically means quotas.
Oh, quotas. I know that.